Hello. So I wanted to share with you all on my Facebook page and probably on YouTube just an example of what I'm doing in these weekly Zoom meditation groups. So um, every week we're meeting on a Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. And I've been leading these guided meditations since pretty much this time last year, really, since the beginning of the first lockdown. And so I just wanted to share a little bit of what we do in those sessions for anyone who's perhaps been interested and perhaps thinking about coming but not quite sure if it's for them. And a few people, friends especially, have said, "Oh, I'd love to come along, but I'm often not in the right frame of mind to come and do a meditation, or I wasn't in a good place that night, so I didn't want to come." Um, and and that's fine, of course. There's plenty of times when I don't feel in the right state to go and do something, especially when you're going to be perhaps on screen with others. But I just wanted to share how sort of simple this is really, and also explain that when these approaches, and I call what we do practicing present moment awareness, or just becoming present of what's actually here when we don't get lost in the mind. Um, just to sort of show basically and demonstrate what these meditations are and what we do in each of the sessions. So essentially, we're focusing on three main sorts of practices really, which I write about in my book, The Gift of the Present, and they are noticing silence, noticing space, and noticing stillness. And then there's a fourth practice which usually I weave into each session, which is noticing what's aware of all of that. So effectively turning our attention to our own capacity for awareness, our own capacity to notice what's here in the present moment. So without further ado, I'm going to just lead one of these meditations. And I do use this Tibetan bowl, which my dear friend Sarah got for me when we were first doing these meditations this time last year. So it's not essential to have all of these things, but actually it's quite nice. The sound of the sound of the bowl, it kind of marks a moment for us to simply stop and step back and just for these few minutes to just be, to just listen to the silence and to the sound, and just to be still and allow the moment, if you like, to guide us. So there's no set way of doing this. Wherever you are, get comfortable. It's probably a good thing. It's quite helpful if if you can minimise distractions. That's not always possible, but that's okay. Another thing I want to say is that specifically when we're focusing on turning our attention towards silence, it's quite useful, in fact, to have some sounds to notice arising in the silence and disappearing back into silence. So part of the purpose of this is for us to recognise that there is something that's observable and recognizable in our own direct experience that we can encounter in these meditations. There is something that doesn't come and go. There is an observable reality that's not that mystical or mysterious, that we can recognize. There is something here that doesn't change. There's something here that remains, no matter what is occurring in our lives, in our minds, in the space of our minds, in the space of our bodies and our emotions, in the story and the length and breadth of our lives. No matter what's going on in the day, the hour, there's something that simply does not change. It has this vast, open quality to it, an open capacity to make room for and to hold all of the things that we ourselves, that we alone, when we're on our own with all of this stuff, we often can't, and we don't need to. And in a way, that's the sort of the joy of discovering this, is that we didn't need to hang on to all of that stuff. We didn't need to think that we had to carry all of it. So we just get ourselves comfortable. If you'd like to, you can close your eyes. You don't have to. And I'm going to strike the bowl, and then just gently lead this meditation. The sound of the bell just reminds us for these few moments to just stop, breathe, and just let things be. And just gently we'll turn our attention toward present sounds and silence. Notice any sounds appearing there right now. And notice that they arise from the silence and return to that same silence. And that the silence is present along with the sounds. They are present together. Maybe the sounds of birds outside or traffic, any sounds in the building where you are. All freely allowed to come and go. And we're just noticing that. The silence completely allows any sound to come and go. And you can notice as well that the same phenomena can be observed with our feelings or sensations or thoughts. So there may be thoughts coming and going in the mind. I can't do this, it's uncomfortable, I'm bored. What's the point? I've got things to do. And feelings coming and going, restlessness, nervousness, discomfort, aches or pains. But for now we can just witness that and notice coming and going along with the sounds. And noticing that within us, within our own conscious awareness. There is this capacity to see, to notice, to witness, to be aware of all the coming and goings, thoughts, feelings, sensations, sounds, sights, smells. And we can notice that capacity to be aware, that capacity for conscious awareness happens here, happens there in you, happens in our own direct experience. It's not something that we're lacking or that anyone needs to give us. We already have that capacity. Just like the silence, we have the capacity to make room for and allow sounds to appear, feelings, thoughts, creations, ideas, action. And that capacity within us can be free, if you like, of any entanglement with the content of our minds or feelings, with any direct experience of what's happening. There is an aspect of our own conscious awareness that is untouched by it, that remains like the silence, clear, open, endless. We can just allow that stillness and silence to just permeate through our whole body, our whole being. And we can remember that any time we like, wherever we are, we can turn our attention toward this dimension of silence or peace, our capacity for awareness is always here and now, whenever we choose to consciously turn toward it. It's always waiting for us. Thank you very much for following along, if you did. And I hope that was helpful and gave some flavour of of some of the guided meditations that we do in the group. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you there at one of the sessions. It's free. It happens every Tuesday at the moment, every Tuesday on Zoom at 7:30 p.m. There's a lovely group of us that join each week, so please do come along. Thank you.